You're live.
Oh, let's turn my notifications off. How we doing, guys and girls? Oh, blimey, look at that. It's come up straight away. Let's turn that down. Well, that's never happened. I'm impressed. I ain't got to spend all my time searching. Oh, I've got to charge this up. Oh, God, yeah, that ain't going to last. 4% battery. How are we doing? Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope we're all doing well. Stuffing your faces with sweets. We are back. Sorry about last week. Oh, I don't even want to talk about last week. What an awful week. Sickness bugs going round left, right and centre. I hope no one's got it or gone down with it or going to go down with it. Awful. Evening, Mikey. How we doing, mate? All good?
Right, I'm here. Right. All right. Here we go. Are you ready, everybody?
Go.
Locked in, ready to go. Right, I've got to do this, haven't I? Where am I on here? Got reminders coming up. It's now time for you to sit back and chill and relax. Let your mind into the deepest, darkest parts of your brain. And let Ross take you on a journey to the unexplained. I don't know what's going on. I'm not live just yet. Hold back. Stay put. Because for some strange reason, the input has changed itself, which is absolutely ludicrous. But let's see if this will work. And if I hit talk, I'm hoping that everybody over on Pulse Talk can hear me. 1, 2. It doesn't look like they can, which is very, very odd. Testing test. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm getting nothing coming out over on Pulse Talk Radio, which is really odd. Is anyone? Oh, this is weird. Are we live? That is a problem. Why has it turned me off? That's not good, is it? So let's quit. Let's load that back up. Guys, if you're just with me over on Facebook and YouTube, please just hold tight for a minute. We are trying to go live over on Pulse Talk Radio. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. We might get a bit of feedback. Right. I'm hoping that we are live over on Pulse Talk Radio. Hopefully everything has come back online, which was a bit weird. Everything going on before the beginning show. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I think I should just start again. Do you not think I should just hit the play button again and go again? That's how it makes me feel. But welcome, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I'm hoping everybody's tuned in. It's Halloween, isn't it? Let's be fair. It's Halloween. So it's obviously causing some gremlins in the machine. Where would I be, Mr. Paranormal Paul, without you?
You wouldn't be nowhere without me, Russ, especially on Halloween, mate. How are we doing? All good?
All good, all good. Welcome, everybody, to our Halloween show. It's the 31st of October, 2024, and we haven't had the greatest of starts to the show, but you know what? What else can go wrong?
Don't say
What
that.
else can be wrong? What else? Let me know who's in the chat. I've got the lovely Mickey is in the chat already with us. So welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. How's your week been, Mr. Paranormal Paul?
This week, not too bad, mate. Not too bad this week. I want to forget all about last week. That was horrendous. Sickness bugs left, right, and centre.
Oh, well.
I was all right though. It was the rest of the family. But I say I was all right. I had nigglings, you know, when you think, I just don't feel right. I don't feel right. But nothing took hold. So I'm so grateful for that.
But there has been, you know, we talk about, you know, sickness bugs and things like that. And they do say, like, the common cold is actually given to yourself. If you generally believe that you have a common cold or a cold, you can introduce that cold into your body. There is a belief that, you know, you can actually, what is it, not psychedelic, is it? Mind transfer, you know, if you feel like subconsciously cause yourself to go into like a state of cold with a runny nose, a sore throat, and things like that.
Well, apparently, I mean, I'm seeing a lot about this. They reckon that this is going to sound bizarre, I know, but they reckon that it's not actually, you can't catch it from one person to another, right? It's your body's way of detoxing. That's why you get all bunged up and things like that. And the reason they say that people tend to catch it a lot at the same time, it's no different than, say, plants or trees at a certain time of year. They'll shed the leaves, like, you know, autumn, they'll shed the leaves, do this, or certain plants do certain things just as a natural way of starting again. And apparently, how true it is, I don't know. I've had a few people say it when I look into it. It's your body's way of detoxing, getting rid of all the nastiness that's in your body. That's why it all comes out. And the reason sometimes colds last longer than others is because we take all these medicines to suppress it. We should just let it out, because then it will clear up quicker. But there you go. I mean, sometimes in a household, one person will get it, two people get it, but the others won't.
Well, it makes sense though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Makes sense. A common cold, you know, could be a nature's detox, you know, because you sniff, cough, splutter everywhere. Yeah, I get it. It could be many reasons. You know, it killed all the aliens from War of the Worlds. So, you know, you know, what else could it be? But no, I do get it. I do get it. But there's a lot of it going around. There is so much of it going around. But it's what I am seeing is that a lot of people come down with it hard. And you know, I've got two instances now where I know, obviously, you've got your family and it never touched you. And the same happened with my partner's family. You know, her dad had it quite badly. It really never touched them. You know, they had, like, as you said, they felt it, but didn't really catch it. But at least one member of the family had it quite harsh, if that makes sense.
Yeah. This was a proper sickness bug. I mean, both me and my eldest daughter didn't get it. But my youngest daughter, it knocked them both out for 3 days. My wife didn't get out of bed for 2 days. She couldn't stop being sick.
I've just been stuck in bed for 3 days.
That was awful. I haven't seen it that bad in a long time, I must admit.
But then it is that time of year, isn't it? It is that time of year when, you know, we know it is flu and cold season, unless you're Mickey when you're in sort of probably a nice bit of sun somewhere. Unless he's near them terrible floods that have gone on. I don't quite know where Mickey is based over in Spain, but they were apocalyptic, wasn't they? That was world ends, sort of.
Yeah, I see. Every time I see things like that now, I'm like, they're fucking with the weather. Yeah, it's just too much out of the.
But do you think it could be now, though? You know, I play devil's advocate. I don't want to sort of end it, you know, play on, because we talk about it every week. Like the weather fighting back, Mother Nature fighting back. It's like you've studied with this. You've studied with this weather far too long now. We're going to have it back.
Yeah, Could be. I mean, what better way to get all that crap out of the sky?
It just
Rain it down onto the ground. Yeah.
It just feels like it's week after week. If it's not boiling hot, it's either windy. God forbid if anything happened like that in the UK, because our infrastructure is nowhere near.
No.
Look at the States. They had that hurricane, whatever it was, and the next 2 days, Disneyland was open, up and running, as if nothing happened. Could you imagine that over here?
Oh, yeah.
We have like a centimetre of snow, and that's the whole, airports can't even,
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. But there you go. There you go. Not near me, but very bad. Nicky said. It's gone square. It's gone square. Have you seen it? It's changed the...
Yeah.
Don't normally go like that, does it? Good evening, Heidi. Good evening, everybody. Let me know who's in the chat. Say your hellos. We're going to have a little bit of a random show tonight. We're going to be talking about a bit of everything that goes on. We've got to start off with, obviously, Halloween. And it's that sort of time of year when you get kids knocking on the door, asking for sweets. Obviously, the government asked this morning not to issue sweets, but issue stickers, or the NHS, was it?
Really?
Because of the sugar in the sweets. Yeah, let's not hand out sweets. Let's hand out stickers to these kids. Yeah, like who's going to go trickle? The idea is to go and get as many sweets as you possibly can, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
all day long.
But it was, there was absolutely some fantastic costumes that knocked at my door this evening. There was one with some form of mask on, which all lit up with red eyes and a red mouth. And he walked up the path, and I thought, I'll tell you what, if he looked through my window and just stood there, I would have absolutely been out of that door before you knew it. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
But what does it sort of mean to you? What does Halloween mean to you, Paul? What is the significance to it? Because within the paranormal field, it sort of fits with us, doesn't it? It's sort of there for us.
Yeah, well, I don't know about. I mean, they always reckon that the ghosts and ghoulies go a bit quiet on Halloween, but I love Halloween. I as much as, if not a little bit more than Christmas. I always have done ever since I was a kid. But I'm weird like that. I've always loved horror. I've always loved something that scares you. I done myself a Halloween party Saturday, which we very nearly cancelled, what with all the illnesses going around the early part of the week. But no, it went ahead and it went off with a bang. So I'm glad with that. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. But I mean, the meaning of it, for me, I just love it. I enjoy it. But I mean, didn't it originate from Ireland or something? It was a pagan festival or something like that.
Yeah, Celtic. I think it's a Celtic festival, and they dressed up, didn't they? To, I think it was actually that I don't quite know where the 31st fits, but I'm assuming it's because it's the 1st of November. I think is the date that the dead are supposed to come back.
Right.
So I suppose All Hallows Eve is to welcome them up until midnight. I suppose you could look at the meaning of the witching hour come 12 o'clock. That would mean the change over to but there's loads of different meanings within it. It can be Halloween is thought to be influenced from Christian beliefs and practice in the early church on the 2nd of November, All Saints Day on the 1st of November, and All Souls Day on the 2nd of November. So many meanings of it.
So it sounds more of a spiritual thing then, doesn't it?
It is. It is a very much of a spiritual thing. Halloween, less commonly known as All Halloween or All Hallows Eve or All Saints Eve, is a celebration observed in many countries on the 31st of October, the eve of the Western Christian festival of All Hallows Day. It is a beginning of the observance of All Hallow Went, time of the liturgical year dedicated to remember the dead, including saints, hallows, martyrs, and in full departed in popular culture, the day has become celebration of horror, being associated with the macabre and the supernatural. One theory holds that many Halloween traditions are influenced by the Celtic festival, particularly the Gaelic festival Shaham, which believes that the pagan roots. Some go further and suggest that Shaham may have been Christianized as All Hallows Day, along with as Eve, by the early church. Other academics believe that Halloween beginning souls as a Christian holiday, being a vigil of All Hallows Day, celebrated in Ireland and Scotland for centuries. Irish and Scottish immigrants took many Halloween customs to the North America in the 19th century. And then, though American influenced, various Halloween costumes spread to other popular countries in the late 20th and the 21st century. Popular activities include trick-or-treating, or Halloween costumes, carving pumpkins or turnips into jack-o'-lanterns, lighting bonfires, apple bobbing, divination games, playing pranks, visiting haunted attraction, telling frightening stories, and watching horror or horror films on this night.
Sounds great.
Doesn't it? It does. Yeah. It does. But I can see it does seem very spiritual in a way. Very deep meaning. You know, we I know we use, but we don't really have a day to celebrate the dead, though, do we? We don't.
No, we don't. I suppose not like is it Mexico, isn't it? They have the Day of the Dead, and
yeah,
that sort of, which is again, that's a great one. I'd love to go out there when they celebrate that.
I'd love that. You know, with the sugar fair, the sugar skulls, and I love all that. I think
it's got a deep meaning to them as well, isn't it? That's very spiritual. So, yeah, I'd love to witness that one day.
Well, they have been, renowned to actually dig up the dead and reset them, haven't they? And celebrate them a bit. That's a bit too far for me.
Yeah,
but they have been sort of renowned to put them at the dinner table and still eat dinner with them a year later. And I think I did see one that was put in goal or in a goal, and they played football against him. I know, but it's that's very macabre, and that is very but I do know there is whatever they do, celebrating the dead. I suppose they celebrate them. Each their own. I'm not here to judge. I couldn't. I wouldn't want to. But yeah, we don't around the world. I know we have. When people pass, we have funerals and we hand them over to wherever they need to go to, ceremonies and things like that. And we may personally celebrate the passing of that person a year in advance, but we don't generally celebrate the dead as a day. But we do celebrate Father's Day, Mother's Day, so I think there should be a day to celebrate the passing of our loved ones. It's Day of the Dead is a bit hard hitting, but
it is for us because it's not really in our culture. But I suppose if you're brought up in it, for us, like you said, putting a past relative at your dinner table and eating dinner. I mean, I wouldn't even dream of doing something like that. But if you're brought up with it, then it's normal, isn't it?
Yeah, I would. It's something that I should think it's not going to happen until it's not a leap year next year, is it?
No.
It's not a leap year next year.
We've got another couple of years yet, haven't we?
Yeah, I would love to do some form of paranormal investigation on the 31st of October. And next year, I'm hoping it's falling on a Thursday, so it should fall on a Friday next year.
Yes, it does.
And I think we should all do it, to try and do. Hold on a minute. I'll carry on with that. But Mickey says, Day of the Dead here tomorrow, big national holiday, bank holiday in Spain. So they must celebrate as well. Is it called the Day of the? Well, Mexico is Spanish, isn't it? I think they talk Spanish, don't they? So yeah, is it called the Day of the Dead, Mickey, over in Spain? Is it called that? I don't know if Heidi. I think Heidi's watching. I don't know if Heidi had a day in Denmark that celebrate it as well. So that'd be quite interesting. I know Heidi has contacted us today as well. It's called the Day of the Dead as well. Heidi has been in contact, and she is going to come on and join us one show in the next coming weeks. So that would be good to tell us all her stories. We celebrate Halloween. We just celebrate same as us in the UK. So where was I? What was I doing? Yeah, I'd like to do an investigation on the 31st, and just to see, at that time of, the lead up to 12 o'clock and the hour after 12 o'clock, just because I don't quite know how that fits within the timelines of everything. Just like what Lee put a couple of years ago, a couple of weeks ago on the show about, because different time zones are different.
Yeah.
So I just find it really interesting. I just find it really interesting to see if we do get anything heightened, with regards to, what is happening around that sort of time. That's all I see it as.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done anything like that on Halloween.
No, I don't. It must have. It must have fallen on a Saturday at some point, and we must have done an event. I do believe that it may have been. I may have done one at Tonbridge Castle, but I can't remember the date of that. I generally can't remember the date of when we did Tonbridge Castle many years ago. I know that was sold as a Halloween event, but I don't quite know if it fell
on
that Friday. Yeah. But no, I would find it really, really interesting, sort of, to see what goes on that night. I don't like the squareness of our names. Do you know that? That's really bugged me. Is it not bugging you? It's bugging me. It is me. Really bugging me. I can't change it. Oh, that's different. Oh, it's all gone purple now. I'm pressing buttons just for the sake of it. That's better. I can't change this back now, Paul. No, I'm just pressing buttons because it's bugging me. There we are. That's better. I like our rounded names more than the bow. I don't like squares. It's a bit jagged, isn't it? But no. All Hallows Eve. Does it mean anything to anybody in the chat? Does it actually mean anything to anybody in the chat? Do you celebrate it? Obviously, Mickey. Everything shuts apparently in Spain. Everything shuts.
Oh wow!
So it must be quite a big celebration.
Yeah.
Them over there. Well, it'd be very interesting. Wouldn't it be nice to do a team weekend in Spain for the Day of the Dead on the 31st of October?
Yeah, wouldn't it?
I don't think the spirits that we would be trying to contact would actually be contacted. I definitely don't think. But I am gonna hold on. All Hallows Eve means holy. So tomorrow my son and I celebrate saints from the past by watching a beautiful movie about Christ and good food. What more do you want to do?
Sounds good.
What more do you want? I've actually got a day off tomorrow, so I'm actually quite looking forward to it. So I might watch a horror film tonight. What did I watch the other week? And it was absolutely awful. Not as in scary, it just... Have you seen the Winnie the Pooh horror film?
No, I haven't.
Don't bother. Don't bother. It's terrible. It's absolutely atrocious.
Is it an actual horror film, or is it like a kid's
horror film?
Really? No, I haven't. No.
Heidi goes back to work tomorrow.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're feeling a bit better, though, Heidi.
Yes, that's a good thing, Heidi. That's
a positive thing in my eyes.
Yeah, take that as big positives. Yeah, no, it is a horror film. It's a Winnie the Pooh horror film. And it isn't great. So anyone who's actually contemplate watching it, don't bother. Just don't. So I have got something to talk about, and unfortunately, Paul is going to probably hear my voice more than he actually wants. I know he hears my voice quite a lot through the show. Probably don't give him enough time to talk sometimes, but this show is going to be about what I actually come across the weekend. Okay. And for anyone that didn't know, we was up, a few team members went up to Nottingham this weekend for the Galleries of, not Galleries of Justice, the Nottingham City of Caves event. We had some absolutely outstanding results. If you go over to the Essex Ghost Hunters TikTok, they had the laser pen just rocking backwards and forwards. It was just for backwards and forwards for no apparent reason, and no one was even near it. So just go and watch that video. Unfortunately, I can't give you context of what was going on in that session because I wasn't part of that. We had, is all I can say is, if someone tipped a bucket of stones over you, that's what my group was experiencing.
Wow.
20 odd stones were thrown at us and hitting, donk, 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 hitting people, thrown at people.
Wow.
Amazing. And then I have a video of it. It will be uploaded onto our social medias over the next couple of days, of a video of we put the REM pod on the bridge that crossed the sort of dugout bit, and we was filming it. No, I tell a lie. I'm jumping back here. We had a voice box going, or a voice generator, whatever. Mickey had it in his hands, and it said, "Please record me." Very random. That's what it said. Please record me. So I said, "What's your name?" Larry. So I thought, okay, that's asked me to record it. The next question I asked, "What's your name?" and it's give a response.
Yeah.
So
start recording.
I recorded the REM pod, and I said, "Larry, can you let me know you're there by lighting the REM pod up?" Boop. Right on cue. Right on cue did the REM pod light up.
Brilliant.
And then I said, "Larry, that's absolutely fantastic. I really appreciate it." And I said, "Thank you," about 3 times, and it went, "Certainly." On the it was unbelievable, and I caught it all on video, and I was just raw dropped, you know, of what was actually going on in there. But the stones was amazing, but that wasn't really the pinnacle of the weekend. It was, because it was an event. It was nice, but we based ourselves about half an hour drive away from Cannock Chase. Okay, and we've had some very, very experiences there regarding Cannock Chase, when 4 team members, Henry, Lauren, Tina and Simon, witnessed a time lapse, time slip, potential abduction. They lost around about 3 to 5 minutes of time. How that works, I don't know. And the more I realize it and more look about it, was it my car or my vehicle that had the time slip? Because the more I talk about it and the more I described it to people, I don't see how the time slip happened. I pulled out, and I'm just going back, okay, to the very first time we went to Cannock Chase, and this was the weekend of Warwick Castle, the event at Warwick Castle. So we found this location for no reason, nothing apart from we could get 2 cars parked in the space out the front. And I jokingly said, Tina went in first, and I just jokingly went, well, there's no way I'm going in frontwards. I'm going to reverse in, because if anyone chased me out this woods, I'm in the car and gone. Joking, just as you do. For without going into it too deeply, that we had some amazing contact with, Simon and Sandra had some amazing contact with, extraterrestrials. We witnessed a few things, and it was time to head back to the car. As we walked back to the car, I pulled out to let Tina pull out. I just stopped on the side of the road and I waited for Tina to pull out behind me. And that's what happened. And I knew this because Tina had one headlight out. So one headlight was less bright than the other. And that's how I kept her in my eyesight when we was traveling. So I never lost her. And I saw her turn out and follow me down the hill. We swung the bend. She was still behind me. We got to the set of traffic lights. And all I remember is halfway down the hill, I said to Jay and Maz and Sandra, Tina's behind us, all check. They all turned around and had a look. For some strange reason, Tina turned left at the traffic lights and I went straight across. And then we met back up at a big roundabout and I said to Sandra and all that in the car, they must have a different sat-nav to me. I'm following their own sat-nav. And then halfway down the M6, Sandra had a bit of a funny turn, not in an illness, but she couldn't let go of what she had contacted. So we had to pull over on the hard shoulder and me and Tina had to sort it out on the hard shoulder. And that's when we was talking that they'd lost time and they'd lost me. But I said, no, you never lost me. You just took the wrong turn at the traffic lights. You was behind me. And they said, no, you wasn't in front of us. There was no car in front of us. But there was, because we all saw them turn left at the traffic lights. So who time slipped? That is neither here or there because I can't tell you now. But it was only talking about it this weekend. I'm thinking, well, perhaps we time slipped. Perhaps what I was seeing, they couldn't see me.
Yeah.
Perhaps it was they couldn't see my vehicle, my car. But my car was there. Was we in an alternative reality? Where did this fit? And that's what got me going all weekend. And we went back there Friday night. We went there Friday night. We had some good evidence. We had some really good stuff. Simon picked up quite nicely, but it was a bit more spiritual stuff more than anything. And I just said to Simon, I'm just going to have a drive around and see if we can find that location of where we from. But could I find it? No. I couldn't. I just could not find it. And that's been bugging me. So we head back, and that was the first night. Second night was event night. But during the day, we woke up the next morning, and I said to Simon, "Is what we'll do. We've got a team that's based up here, Staffordshire Paranormal, the Ghost Academy, which we done a couple of events with them in previous times, and they've got a shop up in Stoke-on-Trent. And I looked at the maps, and we're only 20 minutes away. So I said, we're going into Stoke, we'll have a bite to eat, and we'll go and see them. Well, we spent a good couple of hours there talking to them, and I said, look, we're going back to Cannock Chase on Sunday night, Sunday afternoon. Would you, can you give us any places where to go? And they said, yeah, you go to Brindley Village, go to Brindley Village. Really good. And they'll give us another couple of other places as well. So I look at the map of Brindley Village. And there was a bend in the road, and I said, "That's the bend that we come down." When I pulled out,
What's the chances? Yeah.
that is the bend, and I pinpoint. Oh, just launched my glasses off. And I just knew by the map, that's the bend. That's the bend. Look at it. It bent the right way. I knew I turned left, and I just went round, down. It bent right and left down the hill, and I knew it. I knew it. So I put the old, Google Maps on, dropped the pin, put the old Street View on, and I said, "Simon, does this look like it?" I said, "Yeah, this is definitely it. The gate is it." Showed Tina. She was pretty confident that was it. So all Saturdays, all I want to do is go back to Cannock just to see that place. But I knew, I had a trip into Nottingham and blah, blah, blah. So we did the event. We head back into Cannock on Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Kim and Tina was with us. And I said, "Look, this is where we're going to go. We're going to go here first because we need to see it." We hit gold. We found the location of where it all happened. The goosebumps went off. It felt different. It was a lot more overgrown. But I can categorically say Simon has caught. Doesn't look like Joe and Simon are in the chat tonight. But Simon has caught probably the best bit of phenomena regarding, I don't know, extraterrestrial, or let's just say paranormal. Okay, just to start off with, because that's what it is. So we're walking down. It's all overgrown like it was. It wasn't quite open like it was when we first went there, how many years ago. But I felt like I needed to walk into the forest bit of, like the tall pines. And I noticed that there was lines cut out of these forests, perfect lines where they just floored everything and laid the wood down, all the way down. First of all, I've worked in forestry with my previous job. I know about fire breaks. I thought maybe fire breaks, but then if they're fire breaks, why are they laying the wood down? That doesn't, that doesn't sort of make sense. It doesn't make sense about the fire breaks. Then I walked about another 10 foot, 15 foot, same line again. Another 10 foot, same line again. And I said, Joe, come over here. Come over here. What are you getting? Like, this is, we said, well, it's definitely hand cut. And all of a sudden we got down to about the fifth one. And it wasn't hand cut. It was just left as branches like that had fallen and they'd cracked from a good 6 to 10 foot up. So I could, and that, where you get the branch and it's cracked up.
Yeah.
And top ones had fallen and they'd been moshed down. And it's all I could see or sense that something had crashed here. Something had crashed. So instinct, straight away, check for plane crashes, whereabouts and things like that. No such thing. And I just got this overwhelming sense that this was some form of craft that crashed. It just gives you that sense. And whoever was called in to come and clear this made it look like fire breaks within the forest. But made the biggest mistake of not clearing the one that
wasn't hand cut. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't quite know. I might have a picture. I'm just going to go through my pictures actually, just to see if I could. No, that's a video. that's a video. Yeah, Sod's Law. I haven't actually got a picture of the area. So can I Apple drop that though? I haven't actually got a. I'm going to airdrop it to my Mac and see what happens. It's actually done it. So it's what I'm going to do is drop it into the brand, and let's see if I can get just so I'm giving you everything's gone wrong here. Everything's not right. Everything's changed on my screen. It's if something's not working. Add clip. No, it's not doing it. Don't think it's doing it. For some strange reason. And can't add it. Can't add it. Sorry. I can't add it for some strange reason. But I'm just going to delete that one just in case it's causing. I just want to show you that what I'm seeing, because this video would actually give you context of what I'm seeing. Actually, it hasn't downloaded yet, which is weird. This is really weird.
Was this quite deep into the forest, Russell, or was it just as you walked?
No, it was right on the edge. I try and put the. I have to. Let me try and. So.
Oh right, yeah.
See the lines?
Yeah.
So, for the benefit of it, the others were perfectly square, flat. If machine had gone in there, cut them quite nicely, and just that, cracked, fallen, and that's what was just going over my head, over and over in my head. There's something that's gone on here. So I did a bit of filming myself. I have got the videos. One of them is my videos, which I could have played out, but for some strange reason, it's not allowing me to add a clip. For what reason? I could not tell you, which is absolutely odd, beyond odd, because it should be. It plays. I don't know why. It's not letting me add a video clip. Yeah, like I'm going to do that. It's now telling me to close the Chrome thing. Go away. No. Like hell, I'm going to do that. Take me off air. So I do a bit of filming and I catch a few little things like, can you let me know you're there? And I was asking, is this a crash? Is this and it was like a flick across the screen. Something moved fast across the screen. So I was I felt like I was contacting something quite intelligent of what this could be. And I was quite confident in what I was seeing, what I was sensing by going with the communication through the video and what I was seeing, that we could be on the right tracks. Cut a long story short, we all sense something there, but we all move on. We all go for a cup of tea in the visitor centre in Cannock Chase. And Simon is just like sitting there reviewing his video footage. And he just says, I think I've caught something. But he says it in a way of like, that's not a normal response. If it was more stunned that he had caught it, And then more stunned, he caught it again, but then he couldn't find it. And then Mickey joked. He said, "I've noticed something with you, Simon." He says, "You tell me something, but you never finish it. Because that's all you heard. I've caught something." Stone soaked silence. Everyone wants to know what he's caught. Are you going to tell us, Simon? I've caught something. Yes, tell us. We need to know what you've caught because we don't know what you've caught. But you could see it in his face that what he had caught was something he didn't understand. So he finally finds it and he shows me. I'm like, holy shit, you've caught something. And so we zoom into it. Now that what I was showing you, see that whole picture of what I was showing you? I'll try and get it up on the screen again. That picture I'm showing you. So if you look in the far distance there, yeah, there's an opening.
Yeah.
Now, at the beginning of that whole, before I walked down there to see if you could get out, it's overgrown. There's no one could walk. Okay. Simon has, all you can say is a bipedal figure that walks across the back of that. You can zoom in. Fortunately, when you send the video, you can't see nothing. You just can't. Because you have to really zoom and you see a little dot that walks like this. It goes right across the back. But on the main video footage, what Simon's got, and you zoom right in, you see head, shoulders, arms, pure white, walk across the back of the video.
Oh, pure white. Not
pure
I
white.
thought he was going to say like a silhouette, dark silhouette.
A dark silhouette, but it's bipedal. You can quite, you know, you can see the head, you can see the shoulders, you can see the arms. And it moves so fast. It's like that. But you slow it down and watch it in slow motion. And, like, when you can scroll it with your finger, you see its arms. You see its head. Like that. Run across the screen.
Wow.
To me, you're probably looking probably 6 to 7 foot plus in height. So that leads me to, for want of a better phrase, a Yeti, because they're classed, they're like white fur, aren't they? Yetis, I believe.
Yeah.
Like the abominable snowman, white fur. Would you go along the lines of a Bigfoot type creature? Yes, I would. Definitely, because of the height situation. Previously, the night before in Cannock, I was very much aware of potential Bigfoot activity. Snapped trees at around about 10 foot high, which is a good sign of, like, they can snap the trees quite high, not at a lower base. So I was quite aware of that sort of phenomena going on in Cannock on the Friday night. So I suppose my logic brain sort of clicked in. I know it's hard for me talking here, Paul. I'll try and it's what I do is I'll fire you the video over. All right, Paul.
Yeah.
And just zoom in on that back while I'm talking about it.
But you often find that with like Bigfoot programs as well, like you're saying about the broken twigs, because you'll always hear, especially when you're investigating at night, you'll always hear like wood snapping, like loud, not a twig, not a stick, like a branch snapping.
I think you're looking around about, if you go from 122, zoom in on the back. I've got to make sure I've sent you the right video though. Yeah, I've sent you the right video. So about 122 onwards, and that you know what I'm talking about. And look at the tree line at the back and along the floor. So I'm just letting Paul, and I'll talk why Paul is watching the video. I should have sent it prior to that, to be fair. But I want Paul to see the actual proper video. Are you zoomed right in, Paul?
I can't zoom in. Every time I try and zoom in, it gives me the option to like the video.
Like the video?
Yeah, you sent it on WhatsApp. Oh, I see something move then. What time was that? 1:30.
That's about right. That's about right. A white dot?
Yeah, that was quick. Oh, that is quick.
But
So I'm gonna have to try and get this on my computer, won't I, and zoom it. But it's very jumpy, the footage, like you said. It'd be better to do it with Simon's phone.
You can, to be fair, I will sort of try to do some form of editing with Simon's phone regarding the weekend and see if I can get the actual footage blown up because it gets to a point where you can see everything of what it is. I'm sorry, guys. I am trying to and upload it to the actual, but it's just not allowing me to do it. I'll pick an opening. Chrome has a bug. Please click on Chrome. I don't know. But yeah, I'll put it on our socials over the with Simon. Hopefully, will give us permission to put it on our socials over the next couple of days. But the more you blow it up, the more you see the footage of it, and how it all works. And I think it's probably one of the best captures of footage that I have seen. And I say that seen, the sheer fact is I was witnessed with my own eyes. Like, I saw Simon filming. I know that no one was down that end. I know no one would dress fully white in.
Can I just... Sorry, Russ.
Yeah.
So it looks like it runs across fast. Yeah. But before that, I mean, it looks like it's continuously running, and then it comes into view and out of view. But before that happens, you see something white, as if something white just stands up, and then it runs. To me,
but we was asking. I was constantly asking. We had Tina that was there that was asking. We had Joe that was there that was asking. Mickey, Kim was there, all asking to see something, and this is what we saw. Wow. And you're only seeing sort of from the distance of what, but once you start to zoom in on this thing, you can work out bodily features.
He done well to catch that watching it back.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. You could quite easily, and that's what I'm saying. You heard it in his voice that he knew he had something, and he couldn't confirm what it was.
And just looking at the tree on the right, I mean, that's like halfway up the tree. It's just snapped.
Yes, and down. Over. Yeah, but I have a video. Of that same bit of tree hanging over, and I was convinced something was up there moving that tree. I was convinced of it. That's why I went down there to have a look.
Did you go back after you found it? Your catch on the video?
No, because we went to another location, which was even more. I'm not scared of saying what I sense and feel.
No.
But if I say what I felt and sensed at this location, and this was, you know, we left that location. Obviously, we didn't see that at the time of we was having a coffee. So no, we never went back. But I would have wanted to go. I would have wanted to go back in the evening again. But it started to actually team down with rain. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm a fair weather paranormal investigator when it comes to that,
especially in that kind of terrain."
Yes. So we went to this place called Brindley Village, where we were sent to go. This, you know, where we and it was an old wartime village in the middle of a forest. It's not there no more, but we walk around it. Well, we get to a point where I'd been before, and the second time when we went up to the Galleries of Justice, we visited Cannock Chase, and we walked to this location, but we didn't know that this linked to this location. It just was, once again, it just fell on sort of just upon us. And at this crossroads, and now you've got a set of crossroads, probably 10 foot wide set of crossroads. One side of your crossroads, you've got open fields. The other side, forest, a straight line. Two different terrains at 2 points. Now, when the first time we went there, I picked up on something, and I've kept it close to my chest because, you know, people will think I'm absolutely stark raving mad. But I'll say it because I'm not scared of that. The last time I went there, I was getting told by the energy of the forest. That's all I'll say about that at the moment, is an energy of something that said, this is where they come to meet us. And I said, who are you talking about? And they just said, your world leaders. This is the location where they meet. I didn't pay too much attention to that the first time there, because what I was feeling, and that's it. That's what I was feeling at the time. So I didn't pay to. I thought I can't justify saying that because I haven't really got the backing up of it. Night, Heidi. Take care. She's got to be up at 4:30 in the morning.
Night, Heidi. Good luck tomorrow.
So I thought so when I got back there, I thought I need to ask that question again. But I couldn't find an energy there that would give me that answer. I really couldn't. Could not find that energy. I just could not find that energy. So I went deeper in, and I went and placed my hand on a tree. And I felt a shudder. I felt a tingle. And I felt I'm seeing things, but I'm not seeing things. And all I can say is the things that I was seeing in the forest was exactly the same sort of opaque feeling of what I had in Wales. You could sort of see the tree, but sort of see something walk in front of that tree, and it just blurred out, watery. And I thought, right, I think I feel like I'm in a zone where something wants to connect. And I said, can you let me know you're here? Can you walk towards me? And all I heard was, look up at the trees. And I looked, and one tree was doing that. One single solitary tree. And I said, is that you? I said, if that's you, move to another tree. 3 trees away, that one stopped, another one went like that.
That's it, hell.
And I said, how many of you are here? 6. How do you prove there's six? 6 trees were moving, all in different parts of the forest. Just one solitary tree. We're talking about what? Trees are probably 70 to 100 feet high.
Yeah.
No wind. No wind. But one tree, top of it, was doing that. And I don't know how, but I just went with it. I just let my mind go. I didn't hold back. I didn't let it transfix on, I can't see you, so I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
And
you were getting responses, you know, you got to keep at it.
but I called on my guides and the energies of the forest, because someone was saying, are you picking up spiritual here? I said, yes, I am. I'm also picking up on the other. He said, how are you separating that? I said, well, behind me, I've got 2 witches, and I know my guides are here. And there's all that my guides kept saying is, you can't comprehend what you're seeing. Just allow it to happen. You can't comprehend what you are seeing. And I'm saying, I don't get what you're saying. And they're saying they are the extraterrestrials. Because you can't comprehend, you're not seeing as a man or a figure or anything that you're seeing. They live within the tree. They are the tree. And I'm like, I'm just got to go with it. I can't, at this point, I can't ask questions. And I couldn't. And so I stepped outside the forest. And straight away, I stepped outside the forest. And they was getting, it's all this. I call them the tree people for the minute, yeah? I call them for the tree people for a minute. And they said, they come here and we give them the technology. We give them the technology. I step outside the forest and Simon, Joe and Mick say to me, the machines just said, the technology's given here. So I had that in there and they told me that as I walked out. So that was my confirmation straight off the bat. Then I thought, right, I'm going to listen to what my guides are telling. You can't comprehend this and do it. And everyone was saying, like, Joe, Simon, what are you getting? What are you getting? I said, you won't understand what I'm getting because you can't comprehend it. I said, go in there, walk past the trees, be the trees, tell them to come forward. But they couldn't get it. And I said, look at the trees moving. Ask that tree to move. It moved. Simon was brilliant in a way that he went up to the fern and held his hand out, and all he said was, friend. Friend. He just kept saying friend. He never said name or anything. It was blunt, friend. And you see the fern go towards his hand.
Wow.
Simon was trying to push the boundaries, and I'm talking about Simon's hand was a good foot away from the fern. And I thought that was a bit too much to make it do what it needed to do. But he was going, friend. And he got closer and the fern was like, and we all witnessed it. I think Mike might have even videoed it. I'm not sure though. And that was Simon's. I said, Simon, you're dealing with something that you can't comprehend. So don't dig deep and don't put blocks in.
Don't try and work it out too much. Just accept what's happening. Yeah,
they've lived there since, I think they said there's 12 energies that lived there. And they swap every now and again. They come in and swap. And what they told me, I said, once I got into the fray of, right, I know what I'm dealing with. I know I'm getting answers. I don't know how I'm getting it. Telekinesis. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I asked the question. Last time I was here, you told me world leaders come here. Tell me the last person that stepped foot here. Who was it? The answer was Donald Trump. I said, name me an English person. Johnson went there. On them crossroads, they never went past the crossroads. And what they said with when President Trump was there, that Queen Elizabeth was there. But they never called her Queen. They called her Elizabeth. And that's what they told me. That's where they go. And they give us a thing called MT2. That's what they give the machine. They said, we give technology MT2. And we walked further into the forest and I said, Simon, just go and touch a tree. Go and touch a tree. And I said, go and touch that one. So he walked round to that one. I don't want to touch that one. He did say it like that. He walked away and went and touched another tree. And Mike turned back and he said, have you seen what's on the tree? And I turned around. I looked at the tree. I looked again. And I said, Simon, have you seen what's on the tree? And up close, you couldn't really see it. MT2 on the tree. I was gobsmacked. And we then went deeper into the forest, sat down on a log. We had Simon got his Joe got his dowsing rods out and doused, and Simon then just got under. They're under us. That's where they are. And
that's when you first said when you first said world leaders is here, that was the first thing that came into my head. Underground.
But you could hear it. You could hear it. You banged on the floor. It was hollow. You could hear the hollowness.
Mm. Do they reckon they've got tunnels that go from here to America and you know, all over the place?
Yeah. I may sound like a Looney Tune. I may absolutely sound like an absolute stir crazy, you know, I might be carried off in a straitjacket.
I'm used to it, Russ.
So, you know, if I'm not here next week, you know where I am. I've been carted off to a mental asylum somewhere, or the Men in Black have turned up.
MT2 on the door.
Yeah. But I've been looking into MT2, and I've
just wrote that down. I was going to say, I've got to look into that
now. That you, without sort of really knowing, you have to put something to it. So I said, like, you just put MT2 technology in it, it takes you to many companies. Nothing really but the one that stuck out for me was MT2 cancer treatment, which has only come to light in about the last 6 weeks. Which was a bit, I don't know why I'm not saying it is by any chance, that's not what I'm saying, but it just felt that's where I should have been looking.
Right. Trust your gut.
Yeah, but I don't know if they was, you know, that little bit was still left with me. And I said, I've got nothing. I don't fear you. I said, please don't think I fear you. Please don't fear me. And they were I didn't feel intimidated at all. I didn't feel like they were there to harm me. Didn't feel like they were there to override me. Or do you know what that means? It didn't feel anything bar comfort. It was just maybe more of a surprise that we communicated. Potentially, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Generally couldn't tell you how it worked. And that was the hardest part of it. To let that mind go.
Yeah.
To let it disappear and just trust. But it made sense. You can't comprehend what you see. You can't comprehend us. And I can't. I can't comprehend them because I don't know how it works. I generally don't know how it works.
No.
You know, I said, well, how do you show yourself to these people that visit you? And it was just, I suppose, like that white thing in the video. I don't think they have facial features. I think they have a communication as a voice, but I don't think they have features. I don't think they have like eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and you know, I think they portray that as eyes, ears, you know. I just think they're an energy. I just genuinely think they're an energy, or they're shape shifting, or not giving their true identity over, which I make them fair, but they have been here. They haven't been here long. They haven't been here long.
My mind went to elementals when you first started talking about the energy,
but that's all I can put it as, Paul. I can't give you. I couldn't sit here and say, you know, that is probably as close as what you could get.
Yeah.
You know, Heidi's book. Everyone go and buy it, guys. As close as my brain is going with it, because I don't want to overthink it. Because that was my, you know, Simon said, well, they might, if they're talking to these leaders, then what are they showing themselves as? Yeah, and I said, that's a good question.
How are they communicating?
Yeah,
properly.
But I'm assuming that they could have, assuming that they, you know, could have translators. You know, could have someone potentially like ourselves that go there and understand it. I don't know.
You're a type person.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. It was strange. And I never felt uncomfortable. I felt more uncomfortable talking to Mike, Simon, and Joe than I did them. Because I didn't want to sound crazy. I didn't want to sound mad. And it did. It was bloody crazy. It was, you know, I did and ah about giving specifics. I was just going to say world leaders. But no, I think it has to be Pacific. And that's why I say I do think other world leaders, I think a French world leader has been there as well. I do think a French world leader is there, but I couldn't pick a name. I couldn't get the name. And then when we come out, Mikey was looking at the surrounding areas. And he said that when you walk out into the openness, it's perfect to land anything, because it was up in a valley. Sort of it went up a little bit. And he said that would, any helicopter, any plane, any craft, it would be a natural
out of sight.
But what did he call it? Because it had no wind. Because of the you know, like when
all your uplift and things like that.
Yes. He said it would have been absolutely perfect. For anything, you know, craft, our people or not. But yeah, that was my crazy weekend.
It sounds it.
Very. But it wasn't, if it makes sense.
No, I mean, like when you look back now.
Yeah, I've packed
a lot happened.
You know, in Friday to a Monday, I've packed it in 45 minutes of a conversation. So I've missed bits, but you know, for the benefit of it, it was just anyone who's listening to the show, please go to Brindley Village in Cannock Chase. Have a little walk around that. Just see what you sense, because it is very energy. There was one area where we sat on the log. There wasn't nothing growing on the ground, and that's where Simon went under. This is where it is. There wasn't trees, yeah, but not a weed in sight. Not a weed. And it was so nice. It was different. And I said, I didn't fear it. I didn't feel I was in danger. I really didn't. They didn't portray. Normally with me, because I'm a brash person, sometimes I come across as what's the word I'm looking for? Grumpy. I can come across as blunt when they're speaking to spirit. Do you know what I mean? I'm very, and
I know what you're saying. It almost comes across as if you're impatient as well. Come on, give it to me.
And I know that when we had Rendlesham and that the energies come through there was definitely an issue between it and me. It, I found it threatening, so I go back threatening. So this one I didn't find threatening. Are we talking about Green Man? Is this what the true Green Man is? Is this the protector of our lands? As you say, is it extraterrestrial, or is it the elementals of the world? And but I was told, I say there was 12 energies there, and I use the word energy, but I do believe it comes from a different planet. I do think it was extraterrestrial, and I say think. Because
12 as well. 12's quite a specific number, isn't it?
They said 12. There's 12 of us here. We come as 12, and then another 12 takes over. So they go back, and another 12 takes over. And that happens, I think, if what they were telling me, and I say, I think it's at every 21 years. I think, because I can't remember. I was so in with it that I wasn't away. I wasn't trance-like. I could hear Simon. I was talking to Simon, but I was just in that moment, and I didn't want to let it go. And I did. I let it go eventually, but it wasn't no hold. I just said goodbye. Thank you so much. Thank you for so much. And I trust everything they say. The only difference what I found with this energy was the colouring. The colouring was different to the one in Wales that I saw, but the opaqueness was water, plasma, that ripple effect. The one in Wales was like, that's exactly what it is. Exactly that. But it didn't want to blow my head off or kill me or anything like that. But it was very, very, how you wouldn't never know it's there. People have walked through that forest you would never know it. You wouldn't see it. And how it, showed itself with the trees, people just look up and think, it's windy up there. But that was their way of letting me know that they were there. And I showed Simon and Joe, and they looked and saw, well, it's weird. Why is only one moving? And that's what I just kept saying. You can't comprehend them. And that's all I wasn't being, and that's all I said to them. I'm not being like,
Yeah,
arrogant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't. Don't try to comprehend these. Don't try to put a face, a feel to them. This doesn't work like that.
Mm.
This does not work like that with this being of person or energy. And it was lovely. It was pure loveliness, and I didn't feel it was nothing like Rendlesham. I think I could have quite easily walked back in Cannock at night and felt of ease,
Yeah.
of ease, because I felt I had their protection. That makes sense. Everything felt.
You was accepted.
Yeah, I did feel like that as an acceptance. I really did feel like it as an acceptance. And not in no bad way. You know, it just felt everything was nice.
Mm.
And you know, that's my story of the weekend, really.
Sounds great. I'm gutted I missed it.
Yeah. Cannock is a wonderful place. If you ever get to visit it for ufology, let's hit it. You know, I could, you know, I'd like to camp there, but I think it's highly illegal. I think. Don't think you can camp in forests. But no, I don't know if anyone else. I don't know. Say we haven't got too many in the chat, but if anybody's ever witnessed anything like that, and I don't feel like I'm the only one, please let me know. Any questions as well if you want to ask. I don't know if I can answer anything, but just weird, just weird.
Yeah,
just so weird.
Oh.
But it was just nice to. I was so excited when we found the first location. I was so excited. But I thought I was destined never to find it again.
But it's weird, isn't it? It's the team we met up with. They said, "Oh, why don't you try this place?" And boss straight away.
Yeah, I looked at the map and I thought, "There's a funny bend in that road." There's a bend in that road, and it was the right bend. It was the right hand swing. It was followed by the left hand swing. I'm like, I feel like that's it. Then I went on to yes, that was it. I remember when we went there the first time, we saw lights at the other end, and we found out there was like a house or a farming unit. And when I went on, you know, when you go on the layers, or you can see the satellite image.
Yeah.
From the road to the end, I'm thinking there's a building at the end. There's a bloody building at the end. So I was getting more and more excited. And when I got there, yeah, I was well happy. And that was another freaky thing. And when I was driving, Kim was following me. When we was driving from our cottage to where Cannock was, Kim was following me, and I was telling everybody the story about, well, look, I know I was following, Tina was following me because of the light. And as I looked in my rear view mirror, Kim's headlight was out.
Oh.
And I turn around and have a look at Kim's light. And it was out. We got to the location, Kim's light wasn't out.
And everyone else saw it out.
Yes, I was not the only one. Joe saw it, Simon saw it, Mikey saw it.
Bloody hell.
So I knew at that point I was in the right place.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. It was, you know, just, I won't even say it was intense.
No, it like enjoyable evidence, isn't it? It's like,
but
yeah,
it's like it's almost like I don't care what people say about it. I don't care if people don't believe me. Which
no, that was your experience, and it was obviously meant solely for you.
Yeah, I know people. I know famous. The world's leaders have walked the path that we had walked.
Mm-hmm.
How they got there, I don't know. I'm assuming they would have been brought in by helicopter of some form, just to come straight. You could land a helicopter on that pathway quite easily. or a little bit further down. I'm assuming that they would have brought them in by helicopter for quick in and out, rather than making them walk sort of a mile up the pathway to the crossroads. But it was very
crossroads. So why is it? It's poignant, isn't it? The crossroads is meant to be. Well, it's a number of things, isn't it?
If you saw it, it was literally a dead line of, like, you know, like you see the videos of the sea when it becomes dark, you know, with the two salt waters clash.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was like. Open tree line. You can see you turned one way and you saw into a forest. You turned behind you and you just saw open fields.
Wow.
You know, it was almost like, for want of a better phrase, and I won't put it like it because I don't feel like it was like the human element of it would have been on the open bit and the extraterrestrials would have been in the covered bit. That's how it was felt to me.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that, you know, that's probably a bit of logic brain, you know. But yeah, what they told me, I truly believe. I truly believe. I've got nothing to doubt it. Where the information was coming from, once again, couldn't tell you. Don't need to tell you, if that makes sense, because we can't comprehend it. And I think that is something with ufology going forward, that what we see is not what our brains are programmed to see. You know, it's not, you're not going to get, you know, yes, I do believe in the tall greys. Yes, I do believe in, you know, the anarchy and them. But we're talking about...
They sound a bit more insignificant, though, don't they, compared to this?
Yeah. As I say, I don't know why that's such an important place. You know, I find it a bit odd that certain names wasn't mentioned when I asked, particularly like who was the last person to visit here. You know, the world leaders that I mentioned are not in power anymore, so they visited in power. Right, they visited in power. So obviously, you know, naming such a few, we've had quite a few prime ministers after Boris Johnson, and not one of them had visited. No names were mentioned there. We've obviously had one person after Donald Trump. That person's name wasn't mentioned. So, you know, where does that fit within the timeline? That was it. For the very first time I went there, the second time was Eisenhower. The name Eisenhower walked here. That's what was given. So that's what was given at that point.
Wow.
So that was my. I wished I had the ability to write a book. I wished I had the ability to write a book. Of, you know, I've jotted me notes down, but I wished I could, you know.
Well, I was going to say you could get like a dictaphone and just talk through your experience with it. But well, I mean, worst case, just watch this show back. That will bring back some memories. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know, I say it's a different. It's definitely a different experience to the one I had in Wales. The one in Wales took me back. The one in Wales was more of, oh, I've stumbled across you. I'm not supposed to be here. Are you going to hurt me? No, we're not. But once again, it was the
it was kind of fresh off the bat, though, wasn't it? The one in Wales. That was like your first major encounter, so to speak. So I think it's a bit more. Whereas you're actively going looking for it now, so perhaps you're a bit more calm and collective and open to it.
And it's what I will say, it was the same process of communication, though. I heard it, but I didn't hear it. I heard everything they were saying, but they never spoke.
Yeah.
My brain at the moment can't comprehend that, but I know I can't comprehend it. I was told not to comprehend it, but I'm still trying to put something. How did I hear you? Do I connect to that, or does it connect to me? That's where I'm stuck with it. How do I make it work again? Is it something I can get to again, or is it something I have no power over? But when they want to communicate, even if it's spirit, is that how it works? Maybe it isn't me talking to them. Maybe it's them talking to me, and only me, because we all get different things. You think we do many ghost hunts. You get something different to what I get. You get something different to what Simon gets. I get something different to what Kim gets. Why is that? Is it just because that energy just wants to talk to you and forcing you? I don't know. Too many questions have gone through my brain over the last week, and I was dying to do this show. And that's why I've not, because I wanted it to be fresh, and I wanted you to sort of hear it firsthand rather than trying to text
while
message,
it's fresh.
you know? Yeah, I could never get it all in a text message. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So yeah.
But it sounds like you had a fantastic weekend, mate. I'm gutted I missed it.
It is. It was a fantastic weekend, just for the sheer fact of what happened, and it wasn't what I think these ufologists expect to happen. I don't. I think they think it's gonna. This is a communication line, and I think they've just got to be more acceptant to it. You know. Yeah, and then I think is what we'll do is next week's show. I would like to link on to that video that you showed me regarding the Stranger Things.
Oh God, yeah.
I think we can link this up to what I'm experiencing, but
that's where my head went when you started going into that as well.
Yeah,
but
and that's why I watched that video. Next week, early morning, I am having a root canal done, so I don't quite know where I will be standing come this time next week. So it will be a last minute decision if next week's show goes ahead. If I can talk or whatever happens in here, then yeah. But yeah, that's the the bit that I worry about. Next week could potentially be off because of just my mouth.
Play it by ear, mate, and see how you feel.
Exactly that. Right, guys. Paul, have you got any questions you want to ask me before we end the show?
No, I've got to think about this one, mate. I've got to come back to you on this one.
So that's good, because we can then talk about it next week. It will lead on to next week. So thank you ever so much, guys. Thank you for everyone that has tuned in tonight. Thank you for everyone over on Pulse Talk Radio. And please, I'm not as mad as a box of frogs that everyone might think after this conversation. I genuinely am not. Yes, I was hesitant of telling you, but you know what? Who cares? I can't comprehend it. Who can?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Stay safe, everybody. Take care. And we shall see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for everybody that has watched us over on Facebook and YouTube. Hopefully we'll be back next week. But as I said, depends how this is going to act. If I can talk, we'll go ahead. If I can't talk, no, I'm not the whole time talking like that. It's just not going to happen. So, guys, take care, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.